Imagine hijacking a passenger plane in broad daylight, walking away with a fortune, and then disappearing so completely that the FBI is still scratching their heads 50 years later. This is the story of the man the world remembers as D.B. Cooper. November 24th, 1971. It's Thanksgiving Eve, and a quiet airport in Portland, Oregon comes to life with a strange kind of tension. A man wearing a neat business suit, a raincoat, and a clip-on tie, looking calm and unremarkable, walks into the Northwest Orient Airlines counter. He pays cash and books a one-way ticket to Seattle. He calls himself Dan Cooper. All he has is a briefcase and a paper bag. He boards Flight 305 bound from Portland to Seattle and takes a seat in the back row, far away from most people, but close enough to keep watch. There are 36 passengers and 6 crew members on board. About 20 minutes after takeoff, in the soft hum of engines and the quiet murmur of the cabin, he slides a note to a flight attendant named Florence. Fluttered, she thinks it's a phone number, until he whispers, "Miss, you'd better look at that note. I have a bomb." She opens the note and reads the words printed in neat block letters. "I have a bomb in my briefcase. Sit with me." She sits. He opens his briefcase to reveal cylinders tied together with wires and a battery that looked pretty much like dynamite. That moment changed everything. Cooper's quiet calm turned out to be a threat. She writes down his demands on a piece of paper: $200,000 in a knapsack and 4 parachutes. She takes the piece of paper to the cockpit. By asking for 4 parachutes, he sent a message. "I am going to take hostages. Don't you try to mess with me." Finally, the plane touches down in Seattle. Airline operations teams are waiting for Cooper's next move, but Cooper is smart. He allows only one airline representative wearing civilian clothes to bring the money and the parachutes. Passengers stay seated as the bags are passed through. Having all his demands met, he orders that the plane take off again, this time headed south, toward Mexico. Once airborne, Cooper turns it into his escape vehicle. You see, the Boeing 727 has a unique feature: a rear stairway that could be deployed mid-flight. Most crews did not even know it could be lowered once the plane was moving. Cooper, however, knows, and he demands it. The crew objects to how dangerous it could be, but he would not budge. And finally, they have to do as they're told. He ties the money bundle to his body. The stairway drops open into the dark night. With a sudden jolt, the plane's tail pitches upward as he jumps out of the plane and disappears into the darkness below. All that is left behind is a black clip-on tie, a couple of unused parachutes, and a plane with its back stairs still hanging down. Will this tie clip be the only physical clue to his existence? If you're enjoying this story, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel. Don't forget to turn on the notifications as well. We've got more coming for you. The FBI swung into action with a massive manhunt. Agents scoured the flight path from the plane's route over southwestern Washington, searching forests, rural fields, and lakes with helicopters, dogs, and ground teams. They questioned passengers, air crew, anyone in Portland, Seattle, and Reno who might have crossed paths with the mysterious hijacker. 4 months later, another hijacking took place. He also demanded a plane with rear stairs, ransom money, and some parachutes. Everybody thought, he's Cooper, but the FBI ruled him out almost right away. Cooper was described by the crew as being in his mid-40s with dark eyes, a raspy voice, and clean-cut ears. This hijacker, named Richard McCoy Jr., was younger, fair-eyed, had a southern accent, did not smoke or drink, and had protruding ears. Years passed until in 1980, an unexpected twist broke open the case again. On a sandbar called the Tina Bar along the Columbia River, an 8-year-old boy named Brian Ingram was building a campfire and digging in the sand when he discovered 3 damp bundles of cash, particularly old, weathered $20 bills. The FBI raced to test them. They matched Cooper's ransom serial numbers. There were also 2 packets of $100 bills and 1 packet of 90, exactly what had been handed over to Cooper in 1971. However, that find, $5,800 in total, was the only ransom money ever recovered outside the plane. When scientists studied the bills, they found algae and diatoms which suggested that the bills floated in river water and arrived at the sandbar months after the hijacking. That meant that Cooper, or anyone else involved for that matter, did not bury the money there. It likely washed down from somewhere higher up. For decades, the FBI held on to every scrap of evidence. Remember that black clip-on tie tossed on the floor by Cooper at the rear exit of the plane? Forensic work on it uncovered something unexpected. Forensics revealed more than 100,000 microscopic particles embedded in the fabric. There was pure titanium, bismuth, strontium sulfide, and blends of titanium and antimony. These are not everyday materials. The unalloyed titanium was highly rare, only used in advanced manufacturing like aircraft metalworks or chemical storage. A team called the Cooper Research Team dug deeper. Some materials matched those used in Boeing's supersonic projects or in factories that made old-style cathode ray tubes. That suggested that Cooper may have worked in aerospace, electronics, or metal fabrication, maybe at Boeing or maybe at a related plant in the Pacific Northwest. Even more intriguing, the tie also preserved DNA evidence. By 2016, the FBI officially closed the case since they could come up with no new credible evidence. But then something very surprising happened. In late 2023, Richard McCoy's children came forward. The same Richard McCoy who hijacked a plane 4 months after D.B. Cooper did. They revealed a military surplus parachute rig from their late mother's shed and claimed that their father, Richard McCoy Jr., was in fact the infamous D.B. Cooper. They claimed that they waited until their mother's death in 2020 to come forward, fearing she could be implicated as the parachute was found in her storage stash. Dan Grider, an aviation YouTuber, believed it closely matched the parachute used in the Cooper hijacking and said, "That rig is literally 1 in a billion." The FBI retrieved the harness and the parachute and a logbook during a search in 2023. But the story still hasn't died. There are podcasts dedicated entirely to chasing his ghost, books dissecting every possibility, even conventions where amateur detectives gather in what's called the Cooper Vortex. Collectors buy and trade memorabilia from fake ransom notes to parachute replicas. Cooper pops up in songs, movies, and there are even bars named after him. The haunting question has still not gone away. Did Cooper survive? The night was stormy, freezing, and punishing at altitude. Jumping into thick woods with no clear landing zone would cripple, if not kill most. But maybe he planned it. Maybe he landed near a road, ditched his gear, and melted into small-town life under a new name. Or maybe the wilderness claimed him, his body buried under decades of rain and growth. The uncertainty keeps the story alive.